All right, welcome to the first episode of Beyond the Boards. I'm Nate White, and with me is assistant coach and general manager of soccer operations, Donnie Alberti. Donnie,
Always a pleasure to spend time with you, even if I have to go out of my comfort zone to do it.
this is going to be fun. I mean, this first one, we're just kind of going by the seat of our pants, but we got some things to talk about. First off, congratulations on the big weekend.
Thank you very much.
6 much-needed points.
Yep.
Right.
All the points are needed, but yes, these 6 were good. These 6 were fun.
No, I mean, you're right in the mix. When you look at the point differential between the top 4 teams, it's bare minimal, right? 1-2 points here and there.
Yep.
And then especially when you look at how many games you've played, right, compared to like Kansas City, who's already a few ahead.
Yep.
Talk about this weekend. How were you able to maintain that energy, kind of that excitement after that long of a bus ride to get there?
So the first part about the bus ride is you break it up. So we took the ride 7 hours, ended up somewhere around Columbus. Guys were in good spirits. It was a good night. There was a pool there. They were having fun in the pool. Kind of able to, it's long on your legs. So they're able to kind of stretch out a little bit and just have some fun. And then the next day we went to Will Eske's father owns a club out in Maryland somewhere, and we went to their training center.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
We got a training session in, and then we actually went to their house, which is more like a lodge, but went to their house and had dinner, team dinner that night and everything. So the trip didn't seem nearly as long as the 15 hours on the bus would make it to be, and we knew it was an important matches. So we were ready to go, and then it never felt like we had traveled that long on Saturday. We were ready to go from the start. We played really well. We had high energy all game. I felt like we were in control of that match the whole time, and so that's just kind of how Saturday went. So.
For sure. This season, I don't even want to say it started off slow, because I wouldn't, when you look at last season, I felt that started off slow, right?
That was slow.
This season, you started off 6 of 8 against Kansas City, which I'll discuss that again in a little bit.
We have to.
That's a tough stretch.
Yeah.
Right. But since you lost on December 27th to Kansas City, you've gone 7-2. Okay. What kind of clicked? What caused that momentum shift?
I think it's you're striving for a combination of players. We're a little deeper this year than we have been in the past. So we got other guys coming in. We're not struggling to get guys back, making them play maybe when they're not ready. And then you just kind of start playing other opponents. We played Kansas City and Milwaukee so many times. We got to go out west. We had a big result out there against Empire, and it kind of springboarded us ahead. And then we went to that Tacoma game. Didn't end the way we wanted. We learned a lot from that. And then we've kind of just been riding that wave since.
No, for sure. And that depth that you mentioned, I agree 110% on that, right? And it's kind of that next man up mentality.
Yep.
You've had some big injuries, some illnesses and whatnot, but you have the guys that are able to step in. A lot of speed this season. A lot of speed.
They are fast.
Yeah, very fast. And you got a guy like Torre Alba. He's a threat from anywhere on that field to rip a shot, right? 17 goals in the 15 games. But I think speed for me is the biggest difference this year on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
Right? You lose the ball, you got guys getting back.
Yeah. So I think the focus has kind of been on the defensive end for sure. What's our structure look like defensively? We really worked on that at the end of the year last year when we made all the changes. Just kind of that's going to be our identity from now on. And it's carried over. And yeah, for sure, we have a lot of guys to get back. A lot of guys. You look at a guy like Johnny Gates. You're never a man down with him. Even if he's taking the shot, he's always tracking back. Even if they end up in a 3v2, he's there within a second and a half. Whereas a couple years ago, we might have been 3-4 seconds where we're a man down. And it's not just him. We have quite a few guys that are just fast. They just get back. And so that's been the main thing for us. When you talk about a guy like Torre Alba, he's a guy we liked when he was in Dallas or Texas. He just can score. He will create goals for you. He'll create opportunities for you. And he's not afraid to shoot. He's almost afraid to pass.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and you talked about defense, right? Big Rob with 22 blocks. I feel like as of late we've seen a lot more blocks.
Yep.
I forget what game it was a couple weeks ago, but it was just one after the other. Martinez's block. Briggs. They're all back there. The defensive effort I think has been a huge difference maker.
For sure. And I think that really starts with Paolo. Like the guys love Paolo. Paolo's playing so well, and they're like, look, I have to defend for this guy, right? And so they're willing to put themselves into Payne's way, and we've done a good job of getting forward. Randy scored 2 big goals on the weekend. He was player of the game. Rob scored a huge goal on Saturday, or on Sunday, or on Monday, I mean. It's been a long weekend. and Mashad's been getting involved. He scored that huge man-down goal against Empire when we did look like things were just not going our way to start that game. And we've had a lot of those moments, just those sort of momentum-switching moments. And every time it seems we need to make a play, these guys just make it. And it's not just those guys. The goal Ozzy scored over the weekend was huge.
Axel's acrobatic.
Axel's goal was one for the highlight reel for sure.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No. Speaking of Paolo, I mean, leading in 3 different categories.
Yep.
Right. The goals against average, his save percentage, and saves.
Yeah.
I mean, he still has probably another good 20 years left in him. Sure. I mean, to have that veteran leadership in goal, and just on the team as a whole.
Yeah, I think when you talk about a guy like Paolo, if you're just a casual fan, you look at him playing, you say, oh well, he's decent, he can make saves and he looks good and all that. But like, what he means in the locker room is huge. What he means in the huddles, how he structures the defense. And then just his experience and his just composure, his professionalism. Those are tangibles you can't really measure that mean a big deal to us for sure.
Yeah. And speaking of that, you see a lot of new faces, but how has that veteran leadership, JT, Lucas, Naduka, Paolo, these guys aren't getting younger.
Yep.
They're still able to compete, right? But how have they helped kind of, bring in and make that transition with some of these other guys?
So they all have time in the league. That's
Yep.
a big deal. They command respect. And you mentioned those guys. They've all been out for injuries this year, except for Paolo. But they still, when they speak, everyone listens.
Yeah.
They've achieved everything you can achieve, short of the team success that's been lacking here. But I feel really good for those guys. Like, it's fun that they're a part of this, whatever this turns into this year. And they're a big part of it. When it's time for somebody to say something, they speak up. If some of the younger guys are kind of speaking out of turn, they'll correct them. It's a huge in terms of leadership. They're all solid in terms of that, and that doesn't even include SK, who's our captain.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And as an outside view, one thing that it appears to me anyway, the camaraderie of this group, they all seem very close. Selfless play.
For sure.
I mean, we're making, if it's 2-on-1, in the past we were ripping shots, right?
Yep.
Now we're getting the easy goal, the back post. How does that relationship off the field kind of help translate to what happens on it?
Well, I think first of all, the relationship off the field. In the past, there's a lot of guys complaining, a lot of kind of, it's not going our way. I need to tell why that bothers me personally. And now it's more of a collective, hey, if it's not going our way, let's fix it. This game Monday was a great example. That first half was probably the worst half we played all year. And there was just moments where we were just kind of yelling at each other. And we got into the timeout in the second quarter, and Chile kind of looked at us. That's Will SK. Chile kind of looked at all of us, and he said, guys, this is not us. Like, this is not what we do. We're yelling at each other, and like we're down 7-0. We're losing 3-2. Like, what are we doing? So, he kind of reminded us. And that's kind of what the mindset of the team is like, it's not just about me. I'm here with these guys. We're in this together. And they do a pretty good job of kind of coming together. And it's been a good year in terms of not having to deal with a lot of, I don't know what you call it. Just guys creating circumstances that don't really help you when it comes in terms of winning and losing.
Well, and even the body language out there, right? When you're down, the body language from watching it doesn't tell you that we're down.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't tell you that we're out of it. There's not a deficit that I don't think these guys feel that they can overcome.
No, and I think winning's a big part of it. Like, you kind of expect something good's going to happen.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to make a play. We're making those plays. Whereas in the past, those plays weren't getting made. And so the heads go down. And you're like, oh, here we go again. And we've all been part of that type of team where it's like, It's just this is what the result's going to be. We don't have anyone that's going to make any difference, and now we have it. And I think it kind of started with Daniel. He's just making plays. We played an exhibition game in the beginning of the year, and we weren't playing well. And he scores from outside the yellow line, upper 90, out of nowhere, and you're like, holy smokes, we got that on our team now. And that's, those types of things you can play with that. You can build off that for sure.
So going back to KC schedule,
Okay.
and I know it's legit. I get logistics of it all, right? But again, playing Kansas City, 6 of your first 8 games, those games are always a little bit more intense, a little bit more physical. That has, and I'm not looking for an answer per se, but that has to pay a toll on the bodies of the squad those first few weeks especially.
I would assume so. What I noticed from that was nobody really complained about it too much.
You got to play them regardless,
Yeah,
right?
we got to play them. They're on the schedule. We were kind of okay, whatever. And then I think as that series, if that's what you want to call it, went on, we progressively got better and better. We did not play well the first weekend. We just didn't. We didn't. Knowing what we are now, you say to yourself, wow, they played really bad that first weekend. And then the next weekend we played a little bit better, and then Christmas came. It's kind of awkward around there. And then those 2 games after Christmas,
You took them both.
yeah. And so you build off of that.
Yeah.
Schedule is what it is. I would guess. I don't want to speak for them, but I guess they would say they don't want to do that as well.
Oh, I would imagine, yeah.
So it's just I don't think anyone sort of is like, yay, let's do that. But I think it helped us from a standpoint of here's the baseline, here's what we are. How do we build from that? And you're scouting the same opponent over and over. You're watching the same films. You're making the same mistakes against the same opponents. You're able to kind of correct them. Whereas, this past weekend we were doing film session. Well, Utica made changes. We had no idea what to expect.
Yeah.
We didn't know what was going to happen. So you can't really do a film session. Now we can do a film sessions this week based off the film from last weekend. But there's no this is what our baseline is. This is what we're comparing ourselves against. So that from that standpoint, as a coach and a person who evaluates, I appreciate that. You're playing the same opponent over and over. Well, here's how we're either getting better or we're not. So
No, it makes sense. And then before we get into this weekend, there's a couple other things I kind of want to discuss, but let's talk fans for a minute.
Perfect.
I love the energy this season.
Yep.
And I'm sure winning has a big part to do with that.
Yes.
But even when we had the weather and the crowd was small,
Yeah.
the energy was huge.
For sure.
How does that, even with a smaller group like that on that snow day, how does that affect you guys on the bench and the guys on the field?
I think for sure you want the energy level. That's kind of what we talked about the last couple of years. How do we change the energy? You want the energy around the organization to be positive. You want people to feel like, hey, I'm invested in them, what have you. And I think you see it, guys dancing after goals, guys making plays maybe they hadn't made in the past. All of that stuff is part of that energy. And it's hard to describe it. I made a statement after this last game that I wish I could just bottle this energy up. It's electric.
Yeah.
They feed off of each other. The players feed off the fans. The fans obviously are cheering the players. The big thing in this league that is different than other sports and leagues is they have access to the players.
Yeah.
They can come to meet and greets. They can create relationships with players.
They're coached by them.
They get coached by them. Our guys are out at schools and what have you, and they're just all good guys.
Yeah, they are.
Not all of them, but most of them are good guys.
So a couple other things real quick. Let's USL2's getting ready to start up.
Excited.
I really enjoyed that last season.
For sure.
Just again different games,
Yeah.
right?
And can I say something?
Yeah.
So part of the plan, the overall plan, if you will, a couple years ago was we need to create more of an organization. We are an indoor soccer team that plays for 5 months, and then we go away for 6, and then we have to spend a whole month to 2 months of the beginning part of our season reintroducing ourselves to our fans. So we want to create stuff that goes year round. So there's always an event. There's always some sort of ambush event. And we're kind of in our own lane. We're the only professional indoor team. We're the only USL affiliated team. And then we have our youth club there's a lot of other youth clubs, but you're specifically coached by an ambush player or someone affiliated with the ambush. So, Yeah, the USL, we're excited for it. We have quite a talented roster, if you will. Those will be coming out. We announced 3 yesterday. We're making inroads in terms of our relationships with the higher level colleges, and we have tryouts coming up. So
And when are the tryouts?
tryouts are February 28th. So it's the Saturday. We play Baltimore on a Friday and a Sunday, and the tryouts will be that Saturday in between. So
And games are going to be played at Missouri Baptist again?
games are at Missouri Baptist.
It's a nice facility.
Yeah, and we actually get to train there as well. All our stuff is there. That's our home for the summer, which is huge because you're not at some local park packing everything up, coming back the next day. We have a dedicated locker room, dedicated storage facility. It's really well run. Really well run. Really well run.
And going back to the youth, I'm a big fan of that. Obviously, I have my youngest plays.
Yep.
Coached by Axel and JT. It's very well run. The kids do very well. The training that they're getting is fantastic, and it translates onto the field.
For sure.
And they're in a mixed age group right now,
Yep.
15s and 16s, but they went in and played up in the 15 division and did extremely well.
Good.
We start this weekend.
Yep.
So I would definitely highly recommend, if you got a youth player, either new to the sport or looking for a new club, definitely look at the FC Ambush Youth. I can't say enough good things about it. And again, you're coached by the players, so you have that relationship, which then makes coming here to these games extra special.
I think if we talk about the youth, for our goal was that sort of age 6 to age 12 before they go to 11v11. We want to create relationships with those young players. We want to impact as many of them as we can, and we want them to be involved with our organization. Every youth player gets a season ticket to the MASL. I would assume that our youth club will be the sort of ball boys at the USL, because we have to have our ball girls.
Yeah.
We have to have those, we just want it all to kind of intertwine.
Sure.
Intertwine.
No, it makes sense.
Intermingle.
I know what you meant.
Intertwine. We want it all to kind of work together, and I think it is so far. And there's a lot of room to grow in all of our areas. Our MASL can grow. USL 2, obviously, we can be a little bit better on the field, but that part is exciting for us. And then the youth club, we can grow to as big as we can get to. So
Yeah. Well, let's kind of wrap up by talking about this weekend.
perfect.
So 2 big games.
Yep.
Right. Saturday, 5:05 kickoff here against Utica.
Yep.
And then you head to Milwaukee on Sunday.
Yep.
So with the changes that Utica has recently made, are you expecting a similar, as the one that scouts and watches, to your last match with those changes? Or
So I think what you're looking at when you look at a team like Utica that's made those changes and kind of made the kind of statements they've made, they're looking for players. And I feel like every one of those players will feel like they're on tryout. And they're probably not just showcasing for Utica, they're probably showcasing for the rest of the league. So you don't quite know what you're going to get there. You might get, they had a guy that scored 4 goals on Sunday and scored 2 more on Monday. Wow. He's probably showcasing himself for the rest of the league. You might get a dynamic game out of him. A player like that, you also might get, they go down a little bit early, they might start to get upset with each other. They might just kind of fall apart. Never know what you're going to get in a situation like that. Sunday, we kind of know what we're going to get. We've played them so many times. Their players they do what they do. They have the structure and system they have. They'll be good.
That's always a tough one. That's up there with that KC. That's always physical and intense.
Always physical, intense, but fun. It's fun to be involved in those. A lot of energy, a lot of just good 1v1 matchups. It's an exciting weekend. We're really looking forward to it.
And to the fans, don't forget, get your tickets for Saturday. Again, kickoff's 5:05. The Lucas Almeida bobblehead
See, this is a little short, so I gotta get up there.
It's being given away this weekend, so be sure to get here and grab yours. Look forward to seeing everybody fill the stands. Bring that energy, as Coach talked about. We appreciate you tuning in. Also, if you have any questions for Coach, feel free to email them to beyondtheboardsstl@gmail.com. Donnie and I are hoping to make this a weekly thing, just kind of a brief recap, but also answer any of the questions that you may have. And really, anything goes. Just try to keep it respectful and family friendly, because that's what we do want this to be, family friendly. So
we will do our best to answer it.
No, absolutely. So again, that's beyondtheboardsstl@gmail.com, and we look forward to to speaking again next week.
Thank you very
Hey,
much.
thank you, buddy.
Appreciate you.
Yep.